The people, the headlines, the issues impacting you, all on This Week in Cincinnati on 9 on Your Side.
Welcome back. Cincinnati, Hamilton County, and business leaders are backing a plan to bring a new major hotel to downtown Cincinnati, right next to the convention center. This comes as city leaders have complained about the Millenium Hotel. Mayor Cranley calls the conditions there terrible. The Millennium's owners say none of the complaints is justified and that it takes pride in its staff and the quality of its service. 6 weeks, though, after those complaints were aired, community leaders announced they want to bring a new hotel downtown. The location would be where a parking lot now stands at 5th and Plum. The group pushing for the new hotel includes the Port Authority, 3CDC, the City of Cincinnati, Hamilton County, and the Cincinnati USA Convention and Visitors Bureau. Joining us now to talk about what has happened since that announcement is the president and CEO of the Conventions Bureau, Julie Calvert.
Hi,
Thanks for being here.
Good to be with you.
So what's the vision for the hotel?
Well, we need to be enabled to be competitive with other cities. We need at least 800 rooms directly attached to the convention center.
At least 800?
At least 800.
Why at least 800?
Well, because that's really the threshold that large meetings and conventions, can what we call self-contain in a hotel, which when that hotel is full, then other hotels along the line can, benefit from other business, whether it's transient business, business travel, other convention business, leisure travel.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So where do we stand in the process? Has anybody taken an interest?
Well, we've had a lot of interest since we made the announcement just about 3 or 4 weeks ago.
Okay.
We are getting ready just now to put the RFP out on the street, and just with the news that we are getting ready to do this, and the requirements that we have for the hotel, we've had over half a dozen hotel companies, some local, most national, contact us and express the interest in building the hotel. And these are companies that have built, major hotels in Louisville and Columbus.
Can you name them?
Well, not yet.
Not yet?
Not yet.
We're not breaking news right now, right?
But we have to go through the process to do that. But we do have this on a fast track. We're about 10 years behind in terms of our headquarter hotel. This has been an ongoing issue for, like I said, well over 10 years that we know we've needed a new hotel. And really what's driving the need for that is the amount of meeting space that's in the hotel. I've heard the same stories as you, the same stories as everybody else about, what the mayor thinks of the hotel or whatever. But
meaning the Millennium.
Sure, the Millennium. But from our standpoint, the Convention and Visitors Bureau, it's really about the need for meeting space inside the hotel, and to be competitive with our other cities, we need at least 60,000 square feet of meeting space.
When you say competitive with other cities, you mean inlanding big name things.
Major citywide conventions that fill up the downtown, that keep the restaurants full, the attractions going, everything. What we've had to do over the past several years, since the meeting space is sort of compressed, at the Millennium, is to bring in, we're booking fewer and fewer citywide conventions, and we consider a citywide convention 2 or 3 hotels full and the convention center. So what we're doing now is looking at smaller meetings that might, take up one hotel, part of the convention center, and that's just not enough to sustain all the new development and all the new opportunity that we have downtown. So the convention business is big business for cities, and we're losing our fair share just because we don't have the adequate space to hold those conventions.
Okay, so what you're saying is it's all about meeting space. It has nothing to do with service and the quality.
Well,
of the hotel.
I think there's an expectation among meeting planners that when you come to a city and you're looking at a headquarter hotel, that it's best in class, modern, contemporary, and connected to the convention center. And the hotel, it was built in the 1960s. And so 1960s to 2000s, I mean, there's a lot of wear and tear. More newer hotels have popped up online, and so the expectation grows higher and higher. The Millennium is a partner of the Convention and Visitors Bureau. When we travel to Washington, D.C. or bring in conventions, we do show the hotel. But the meeting planners make their own decisions on whether or not it's clean, it's up to par of what they're looking for. We have to listen to our client. We have to respond to that.
So what incentives are you giving developers?
The opportunity to be successful in Cincinnati, for sure.
Okay.
We haven't gotten that far, yet.
Okay.
We don't really talk about that in RFPs too much, but we have done a study with a major hotel company consultancy that tells us that an 800-room hotel or a 600-room hotel would be successful in Cincinnati, even with the Millenium still in operation. So that tells us, that gave us the confidence that we needed to put the RFP out when we did.
What's the timeline?
Well, the RFP is going to hit the street in the next week or so. We're actively marketing that through a national consultancy, so we're going to be very choiceful on who we choose to bring in, and we hope to be able to make some decisions on operators, you know, by the end of the year.
Is the intent to force the Millenium out of business, or would you want it to stick around?
Well, they're going to have to make that decision for themselves on what they want to do. You know, they've indicated for years that they're willing to sell the hotel, and then we, you know, get different things together, and by the time we're ready to make that offer, then they decide that that's not what, that's not what they want to do. But in terms of what their place is in this market, we'll leave it up to them to decide. But we know that we need a very competitive, contemporary, best-in-class headquarter hotel, and we're going to deliver that for Cincinnati.
All right, Julie Calvert, thank you for joining us.